And back to my original destination. A lot of people have been asking me about doing videos on how to ride a motorcycle. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to go to the little churchyard to do it. And I gotta watch out for gravel around here. And this is the churchyard I learned how to ride in whenever I was first starting. So let's go ahead and put this thing in neutral. And I'll go ahead and tell you the mechanics of the bike real quick while I'm doing this. Whenever you're looking at a motorcycle, you have to deal with, go ahead and kill that so I'm wasting gas. You've got to learn what each side means. Now the right side of the bike, that's for your brakes. You got your front brake right here, and your rear brake is your foot brake. Now if we get on this side we have our clutch right here, which basically separates the engine and transmission, and we have our shifter. Down will put you down a gear, up will put you up a gear. So whenever you're starting on a bike, the first thing you want to do is you want to get on it on the left side, because on most bikes, if you get on it through your right side, you have the pipes right there, and the pipes are pretty much hot all the time whenever you're practicing, and you're like starting it up, and then, you know, just crank it up, let it sit for a minute, and then hop on after it warms up. The pipes are going to get hot, so I climb onto the front side, or from the left side. Now what you want to do is you want to remember to go ahead, put the kickstand up, because if you don't, then most bikes have a kickstand safety switch, which if you try to put the bike in gear without the safety being down, or without the kickstand being down, then it will cut the bike off. So it'll be basically like that. You don't want that. So now this is one of the hardest parts you're going to learn, and that is getting into first gear. Now to do that, what you got to do is pull the clutch in, and on your shifter, it's usually down will get you into first. Then after that, you kick it up past neutral, because it's basically first, neutral, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth on some bikes. And you want to actually kick it down in first, and then whenever you're actually rolling at the right speed, kick it up past neutral into second. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and first things first, we're going to put our left foot on the left foot peg while keeping our right foot down on the ground. We're going to pull the clutch in, and that separates the engine and transmission. Then you can go ahead, kick the bike down in first, and neutral light will go off. Let me show you that one more time. Okay, we're in neutral right now. Okay, our hands are off the clutch. We're going to pull the clutch in, kick the shifter down, neutral light's off. That's how we know in first. Now, whenever you're in first gear and you try to release the clutch without any throttle, this happens. See what I mean? See, that's the problem a lot of new riders have, is not being able to figure out what's going on there. Well, what's going on is whenever the bike starts rolling, it is rolling on just the engine itself. And whenever you're first starting out, what you want to do is you just want to figure out where, whenever you're letting the clutch out, the bike starts rolling. That's what's called the friction zone. And what you want to do is whenever it gets in the friction zone, you want to give it a little bit of gas, and that will help keep the engine rolling. So what you want to do is you want to keep it, find the friction zone, and then raise the gas up to maybe right around 1500 RPMs slowly. And you want to slowly let off on that clutch, because if you let off too fast, then it will just jerk you to a stop. So you just want to slowly release the clutch, starts rolling, give it a little bit of gas, and here we go. Now we're rolling. And this can be either the most exciting or terrifying part of a new rider learning to ride, is being in first gear from the very start. So what you want to do is whenever you learn how to roll in first gear, instead of just coming up and driving all over the place like this, what you want to do is just find that spot again. Let me get back to where we were so I can kind of be away from the gravel. So what you want to do is whenever you figure out how to get it into first, because this is my problem. This is why I don't have both blinker lights. But once you figure out how to roll into first and get your feet on the pegs, go ahead and stop like that. And just do it again. See, I'm barely raising my RPMs any, and I'm just getting it into gear enough to roll, and then I let it off again. Because a lot of people, whenever they're first getting in first, they will freak out and end up drifting sideways and crashing their bike. And that always sucks, trust me, I know. But just to reiterate one time, we're going to go ahead and shift in neutral, kickstand down, bike off. And we're going to do this one more time. Okay, we go ahead and if you want to, crank the bike up and let it warm up. Mine's already warm. Get on the left side, just like this. Pull her on up, and I go ahead and kickstand goes up, pull the clutch in, downshift into first, and then find the friction zone, RPMs, give it some gas and roll. And as soon as you start rolling, that's whenever you want to put your feet down, or you want to put your feet on the pegs. You don't want to let your feet stay out to the sides whenever you're trying to drive, because they are made to be on the pegs, and that's where they need to be. Then you can do really cool stuff like this. Oh yeah, I'm badass. Haha. And don't try that first and foremost. But now I'm just going to ride around for a second. And this little parking lot is where I learned to ride. I treated every one of these islands and stuff like an intersection, and I went ahead and stopped for a second, put my feet down, and rolled on them, just like I was at a regular intersection. And that, my friends, is pretty freaking awesome. Whenever you come up to an intersection or something like this, pretend this is an intersection, you go ahead and stop, downshift into first, look, make sure nothing's coming, even though there ain't nothing coming, and move on. So yeah, that is part 1 of the How to Ride a Motorcycle series. Stay tuned for part 2. And that is the Glock 17 shooter signing out, reminding y'all, ride safe.